Rise and shine, everyone. It is 6 o'clock here on this Tuesday. We are that much closer to Thanksgiving. This week has felt like just one never-ending holiday.
It sure has. Let's get it to meteorologist John Ziegler. Our executive producer's watching us right now in the hospital. His wife's having the baby. Anna, if you're watching, push.
Push.
Go
Push it real good.
Jordy, stop eating. Put the sandwich down, dude. That's my only advice. Yeah, we cannot wait to hear the news from them. 41 degrees right now. It is a warm morning. We are dealing with cooler air. You can see Moorhead, Alexandria area. This is the cold front. Kind of weak sauce when you look at a cold front at this time of the year. It only gets us to freezing. We have some stronger cold front that gets us to the teens this weekend. So the front actually just leaving us with some drizzle. The rain was going on at around 2 in the morning. When I was driving in, it was raining good. Now it looks like it's just some drizzle. Looks like some flurries over to Eau Claire. But yeah, as I zoom in here, it just looks like some very light rain, kind of underperforming now. Hastings, if I had to pick a spot with wet roads, would be south on 35 or anything on 94 east heading in towards Wisconsin. But wet roads is all I'm dealing with. No major impacts. Driving, we'll of course talk about flying impacts in your full forecast.
Sure thing. All right, John. And unfortunately, we do have a big impact on 494 eastbound this morning because we're tracking this crash, as you can see, on the right-hand side. This is right near France Avenue, so the Bloomington area, if you're familiar. It is causing a slow down on 494 eastbound. You can see multiple squad cars there responding to what's ever going on. You can see, though, it does not appear they've closed that ramp. There's a car going through right now. But regardless, if that's on your commute, and it's a big, busy stretch, of course, of interstate here in the Twin Cities, you're going to hit slowing right at that France Avenue mark. So we're going to continue to monitor that. That's the big issue right now on the roads. Jason.
All right, Jen, thank you very much. 6:02, and our top story this morning, the next 48 hours, of course, will be busy at MSP as people head out of town for Thanksgiving.
And to make things even a little more chaotic, a major storm system is already hitting parts of the country and could start causing delays at airports across the country. So take a look at your screen. This is the storm that's been forecasted. They stretch from the south up to the northeast and spread to the Midwest. Everything from rain, high winds, and even tornadoes are possible.
And now we're seeing the aftermath of those storms. This morning, thousands of people are waking up in central Mississippi without power after strong winds and possible tornadoes hit that area. These are brand new pictures into the newsroom from the area of Jackson, where trees are down and buildings and homes are damaged out there. Let's get right to Cece, who's at MSP. And Cece, what kind of delays are we seeing from these storms? Anything yet?
Nothing too crazy. I've been camped out here at the arrivals and departures board for about an hour and a half. And if we take a look here, we're seeing a lot of on time. That's really good news. If you go and check out MSP's website, you'll see that arrivals, 2 cancellations and 1 delay, but nothing departing from here, which is really good news. If we take a look here, I know an hour ago, even 30 minutes ago, I showed you a very long line of travelers. That has since died down a little bit, probably people getting out to those earlier flights. But as this storm moves in, this could all change and millions of holiday travelers could be impacted today and tomorrow. So right now it's really all hands on deck here. This morning the National Weather Service is positioning meteorologists at 22 FAA centers so they can give down to the minute weather predictions for exact arrival and departure routes. To minimize disruptions, new direct routes have been added and military airspace will open up to commercial traffic. Also, several airlines are beefing up staff this week, including here at MSP we've seen. And the Department of Transportation says it's been working closely with airlines to ease the cost of trip delays.
If your flight gets canceled or significantly delayed for any reason, I want the traveling public to know that you are entitled to a full cash refund if you choose to take that refund rather than a rebooking.
Travel leaders, they're just working ahead so we can avoid what we saw last year when holiday travel was a nightmare. Now, one thing airport leaders do say that you should do is really be checking in directly with your airline to see if there's any cancellations so you can get minute-by-minute updates about that. But coming up in 30 minutes, I'll see you again, and I'll be giving you more tips for if you're coming out here for this busy holiday travel week. Guys.
All right, Cece, yeah, people keep checking out the departures board on the at the airport there. So if you do have a flight, as you heard from Cece, check it before you go.
All right, Cece, thank you. And if you're driving, you're saving some cash at the pump this year. In the last 6 hours, AAA released the latest gas prices. The average for a gallon of regular is $3.13. That's down 34 cents from last year. And of course, if you're filling up in Hennepin or Ramsey counties, you're going to pay a little bit more. A gallon in Hennepin will cost you $3.28. Over in Ramsey, it is $3.17. And for anyone fueling up in Wisconsin, you're in luck this morning. The average for a gallon of regular there is just $3. That's down 36 cents from last year. Nationally, the average is $3.29.
With so many people traveling this week and a surge in respiratory viruses across the country, it might be a good idea to stock up on some COVID tests. The federal government is making at-home tests available for free again. Available now, each household can order up to 4 free tests at covid.gov. Here in Minnesota, you can also get free tests through the Minnesota Department of Health. For more information, go to mn.gov and click on COVID-19.
We've got new details this morning on a lawsuit filed by a Twin Cities woman involving a Delta Airlines pilot. Here's the latest.
I'm Lou Raguse. A new lawsuit claims Delta flight attendants overserved alcohol to an off-duty pilot who then groped and kissed a passenger against her will. The plaintiff says she reported the behavior to one of the flight attendants, but instead of doing something about it, they served the woman a 5th can of wine. The woman was employed by a Delta subsidiary, but no longer works there. The plaintiff says she's suffered anxiety since then and wants to prevent the same thing from happening to someone else. Delta, in a statement, said Delta does not tolerate inappropriate or unlawful behavior.
Within the last 24 hours, the U.S. Supreme Court decided to not hear Derek Chauvin's appeal of his conviction for the murder of George Floyd. His lawyers claim the former Minneapolis police officer didn't get a fair trial in 2021. The appeal argued jurors may have had a vested interest against acquitting him out of fear of instigating more violence. Chauvin is currently serving 22.5 years in prison. He's also appealing his conviction on federal civil rights charges.
In the last few hours, we learned the partnership between Fairview Health and the U of M could be ending as soon as 2026. Fairview could still negotiate a new contract with the U, but it looks unlikely as the hospital group expressed their desire to let the current agreement expire without renewing. Fairview bought the University of Minnesota Medical Center in 1997. Fairview's spokesperson tells us they're open to selling the hospital back to the U of M, which will be part of the negotiations between the two sides. For patients who are worried, by the way, Fairview's reps say nothing changes.
This morning, we have a warning for you if you live or work in St. Paul. Elevated lead levels have been discovered in drinking water in some buildings and homes for the first time in decades. The city says of the 105 residential homes tested, 13 of them had slightly higher lead levels than the threshold set by the EPA. The homeowners have been contacted, and more testing and next steps will be done. Well, as our weather turns colder, road construction season is starting to wrap up. MnDOT reports it advanced nearly 230 projects this year, including the long-awaited reopening of the 3rd Avenue Bridge in Minneapolis. MnDOT says some work zones around the state may stay open through the months, and is reminding drivers to watch for workers and equipment.
Just a few days before families gather for their Thanksgiving feast, the state's food shelves are getting a much-needed boost in funding. In the last 24 hours, Governor Tim Walz announced $5 million are coming from the American Rescue Plan Act. Now, even with the boost, advocates say they still need the community's support to help offset the rising costs of food and unprecedented demand. They urge everyone to check with their local food shelf on exactly what to give.
Finding out what your local food shelf needs and then creating a relationship with them. It could be donations, it could be volunteering, it could be financial support.
For help in finding the food shelf closest to you, just go to our website, KARE11.com. Well, if you love the Minnesota State Fair, here is another great gift idea. Right now, you can go to the fair's website and get tickets for next year for just $13. Those are the lowest prices you'll get this year, and you can only get them today. There's a limit of 12 tickets per order and 1 order per customer. If you miss the flash sale, pre-fair admission tickets go back on sale on Monday for $15. Could be a good Thanksgiving dinner table idea. Just bring back a whole bunch of tickets for everybody.
Here,
for the
everybody.
Fair. Yeah.
275 days away.
But who's counting?